Hello, everyone. In today's episode, the producers have procured us a plethora of TTRPG gaming accessories to look at.
Join us while we take a look at the surprises in store and give our thoughts on whether or not we think they're worth the investment. I'm Eddie.
And I'm Eugene, and welcome to another episode of
The Middle-Aged Barbarians.
Here on Middle-Aged Barbarians, we like to cover a wide range of topics of all things geek, from tabletop RPGs to board games, media reviews, and news updates.
So whether you're new to the RPG scene or jaded veteran like us, stick around to watch this pair of guys be barbaric and tear your boredom to shreds.
Ooh. All right, so apparently the first thing we've got
Food.
snacks. I do believe snacks are a very integral part of any gaming session.
Of course, you need fuel for those neurons.
Yeah.
And that exertion you deliver working with the...
I think here we have a couple of staples options. Please let us know in the comments if there's any special snacks or drinks that you all like to have when you're games. We have pretzels. We have pork rinds. And we have, I don't know if you'd call these chips. These are Cheetos. But
It's a representative of chips.
I would substitute them with any other chip, maybe.
But the main thing we have to talk about is this little fella. Why?
Yeah, we were talking a little bit before. We were like brainstorming, talking about snacks and stuff, and we mentioned pretzels. Eddie and I actually both believe that pretzels are the superior snacking food during any tabletop or board game session.
For two main reasons.
Well, one is, I think the main one is cleanliness.
Of course, this is the cleanest snack you have. Leaves no residue on the fingers, and when it breaks, it leaves very little crumbles.
Yeah. As opposed to those Cheetos or any other actual like condiment.
I already
chips.
feel the filth in my clothes.
Yeah, how many character sheets have you not ruined with Cheeto fingers? 0. That's because you don't even touch your character sheets, Mr. Producer.
Yeah, no, a ton of stuff, game pieces, cards.
And just listen to that.
Oh, we're turning to an ASMR thing now?
That'd be good by me.
Maybe.
So, snacks are a very simple way to get into this video. Snacks are very important. I feel very rude talking with my mouth full.
Yeah, you can also substitute this for healthier versions as well. Carrots,
Celery with dip, or maybe celery stuffed with.
Although the
peanut
dip you
butter.
have to be careful because of the cleanliness aspect as well.
Or you could even go even more hardcore and do like pizza or.
Well, that would be kind of for an interlude.
Maybe, yeah, or in the middle of the game.
You have like your whole scenario here, and the pizza is.
Yeah, you got to kill the pizza. That's the challenge of the session.
There we go.
All right, so snacks are, what would you say, yay or nay? Definitely.
Yeah, of course, yes.
You got to have snacks. All right,
We have to be logical with that, with which sort of snacks, because of, for instance, the pork rinds here, at least in Mexico, they're commonly prepared with salsa. So having your salsa dip, messing up the whole table.
Or you just drench them in Valentina sauce.
Oh my God, so good.
And that's even worse than Cheetos.
Yeah, Valentina sauce is amazing. It's radioactive coloring. That could be the origin for a superhero. So yeah, that's snacks.
All right, so next up on our list of accessories for gaming would be miniatures.
What are miniatures?
Why are miniatures?
How are miniatures? Well, the how is very interesting because many of these. How do you get miniatures?
Well, I remember
Back in the day,
many years ago, if you wanted to actually buy or have access to miniatures, you would have to buy either like the Mage Knight figures or Warhammer, or like repurpose other. Or I think there was it Chainmail actually later they came out with actual miniatures for Chainmail.
Later, official D&D miniatures or miniatures for many other games.
So and I think we mentioned this in one of the first videos we ever came out with like basic stuff you need. You don't really need minis, but they do help a lot.
Yeah, they help a lot with ambience, at least with the sense of scale, because this guy versus your regular player would be very different. Very different seeing it instead of being represented by any random sort of object.
Yeah, 'cause I mean, other things you can use is either like printable tokens, or you can use coins, or
Yeah, back in the day, what I used to love is I had this little stands and I used cardboard minis. That was my favorite way to go.
we had another friend who they still use them to date. He would print out the actual token images from Wizards
On
and stick them on like
Cardboard.
styrofoam tokens, like little discs. And he used that. Oh, I'm still snacking. Sorry. But now something that's great is nowadays it's really easy to have access to a
minis.
3D printer, or get the files, or pay for like a subscription service and have access to a bunch of miniatures and figures. And I mean, if I can be honest, this is something that I have recently started doing, to the point so that my wife looks at me and wonders if I am okay, because I have purchased a lot of minis and get into the paintbrushes and the different paints and the different types of paints and the finishes and the primers and the.
So yeah, that's your two hobbies in one, because you get them originally in gray or whichever
Yeah.
material gets, and you have well, you don't have to, but you
Check
should
this
probably
guy out. This guy's awesome looking.
you should probably paint it.
Yeah, at first I wasn't gonna paint them because I didn't. I mean, it's like, do I find somebody to paint them for me, or how much are they gonna charge me for it? And then I figured, I mean, I'll just start off trying it out, and it turns out to be a great occupational therapy. That's a really nice hobby to just disconnect and do it. So, minis, I would say if you have access to them and it's not something that'll break your purse, and you either don't mind using like the plain just printed out minis, or even giving them a primer with some highlight spray and just leave them very simple, like a contrast there between.
Yeah, you can do stuff like, I remember a board game that uses minis that I used to play a lot. It's called Descent, and the player minis are gray, the enemies are blue, and the boss enemies are red.
There you go.
So yeah, and you could paint them, but
You could actually, that's a great idea, which you can repurpose figures from other games. I remember at one time I was using the figures from my Dark Souls board game,
oh, they're pretty
and
cool.
I was just repurposing the halberd gargoyle and the silver knights and all those figures and stuff, and using those in my games for the players.
Yeah, and if you want to go very, very advanced, you can even make custom minis for your player characters. They could get their models made.
Guilty.
There we go.
Yeah, I found a great deal on Hero Forge, not a sponsor, and actually custom their player models and then printed those out as well.
And painted them as well.
Yeah,
Oh my God, that's cool.
yeah, it's been pretty good. So minis definitely, if you can. If not, really,
There-
there's a bunch of other options you can use to.
Even like we used to do, we had this little toys. We also used to do, I don't know if you remember, we had these little toys that were kind of sort of McDonald's-like. They were like these weird little figures we had, finger puppets, and we used
my
those.
God. No, I don't really remember, but I can imagine that. Actually, something I've been wanting to do. If I didn't have these, I would probably be using my kids' Lego figures.
Yeah.
Just take your kids' Lego figures if you have kids. If not, go out and buy a bunch of.
I thought you were going to say get a kid and then get Lego figures.
Oh no! If you can get the Lego figures without having the kid, go for it. But if you already have it,
Kids are
if you already
expensive.
have the kids, then that'll be some acceptable collateral that you can do with. But yeah, so mini's good. Mini's good.
Mini's good, but not essential per se.
Let's mess with the editor. Put like a sticker of our face going, "Yeah, mini's good." He's probably not going to do that. All right. So what's next?
So we got terrain.
Yeah.
That's like the next level of minis.
Yeah. I haven't gotten this hardcore. This isn't our stuff. It's not mine. It's from here. I mean, this is cool.
Of course, look at how it has the grids for your movement needs.
Just stack them up.
And you should use like something below to keep it steady. There you go.
Wow. Now you have a bridge.
Which can collapse.
Yeah, I mean, like these little accessories and stuff, boulders, tree trunks, stumps and stuff. Here, let me see. You guys can see this kind of stuff. I mean, all of these were actually painted by one of the producers here.
And printed as well, right?
Yeah, I think he printed them out and painted them up. And I mean, this stuff is really, really cool.
Really good looking. As you can see, a lot of this terrain is collapsible. Well, this wasn't supposed to collapse that way, but
Whoops.
whoops.
Yeah, don't break anything. He'll kill us.
Oh, he can just print more.
I'm still on the fence about this kind of stuff.
What gives you? Why are you on the fence on this?
How easy it is to actually like just go full head first into the rabbit hole.
I get you.
I don't know how much is too much. Obviously, if you have it and you have the money and the time and whatever.
The space. That's what gives me pause. The space, because in my house I would have space for all this stuff.
I barely have space for the miniatures I have. I have 2 boxes and they seem to always be in the way of something. Now, out of all of these options, I think maybe having like tiles and stuff
That
is a little more versatile. It's not as specific. You can use this for if you're blocking out like a dungeon and they're going through it, or if you just need to map out the area where they can walk in. There's actually, I know he has some, I don't see them around here, like little mini walls and little mini tiles and stuff that you can
Or you
build.
can have them in different colors to represent different things.
Yeah,
right?
a little more generic. My problem is that I would go so hyper specific into.
There we go. Here we have some different terrain.
Well, those are like, yeah, cardboard tiles are a little different.
But yeah, they still work. As you can see, they have the spaces for this.
Yeah, I would be like just so anal and hyper specific, like with certain combats and stuff, that I would be like, no, for this one I need this kind of rock and this tree and this building and this thing, and I would lose. I would just go.
Yeah, I'm
crazy.
much more of a slacker, and I would probably just.
Now, what I personally use is something more like this. I don't know if you guys can see that right here. Just
A grid that you can paint on.
yeah, I have one of those rollable vinyl grids. I just I'd break out my colored Sharpies and not Sharpies, the dry erase and wet erase or whatever.
Yeah, Sharpie is you messed up.
Yeah, we did that once.
Yeah, I used to print like rolls of white paper with the grid and sharpen them and
Yeah.
toss them away because they were single use.
Yeah, and I think even like on the back, I saw somewhere or somebody mentioned to me that like the back of really cheap wrapping paper
Oh, that looked
actually comes in 1-inch grids. So if you're looking for something really cheap, disposable that you can paint up and just set aside or throw away, that would be a really cheap option. So I don't know, miniature terrain, maybe, probably
Well,
not.
probably not for me as well. No, to the attention it requires, it's not for me.
Yeah, but if you have it and you don't want it, you could send it our way. I'll take it off your hands.
For sure.
All right.
And keep it here because you don't have space at home.
Yeah, yeah, probably. All right, so what's next?
So,
Oh,
we
sorry,
got-
just munching on my pretzels. Something indispensable to any D&D or tabletop would be dice.
That's your basic dice set.
Your dice set. You know, there's a little hack if you know somebody's a geek like you.
Yeah, of course. You just say dice 6.
If they say dice 6 and not just automatically refer
This
to
is a
it
dice 6. Yeah.
as a default dice, they're into gaming.
Many sorts of games use different dice.
But now when we talk about dice, I mean we have like here we have just a plethora of your typical standard array of dice.
They're the if you're interested, they're the platonic solids, which is kind of similar to the squares and circles and the basic shapes. They're the basic solid forms that are regular. They have same faces. It's very interesting
But not
design
only,
wise.
not only are there dice, which I think these are definite, you need to have these. I mean, if not in physical form, you can always download an app.
And yeah, just do the
Run it on your phone. But more than this, I think we could talk a little bit about like novelty.
Yeah.
Because there's a whole lot of weird dice and gimmicky stuff out there.
So I'll pass them to you.
I mean, here we have some. Although, I think these are used. Oh, is it Dungeon Crawling Classics? I think that system uses like
This sort of dice. This is a
dice
dice
variant.
7. That's a dice 5, if I'm not
This is a
mistaken.
D5, yeah.
Yeah. And
You can see this.
a die 9, which is, I mean,
Yeah,
crazy.
they're not your standard array.
Yeah, as you can see, they're not. The shapes are not the same. They're not equal.
Yeah, but then you get into these big monsters like what's in that bag, which is what, like a die 30, a die
this is a die
50.
100, which is basically a sphere. It's kind of hard to determine how.
They have this one, which is metal. This is heavy. This is a heavy boy.
And if you toss it, it breaks stuff.
Yeah, what sucks is they never stop rolling.
Yeah, well, they're spheres.
But like on top of this, I've also seen there's one that looks like a dagger
Oh, they work like
or like a little
tops.
tower. Yeah, and you spin different parts, and they're like fidget spinning dice and stuff. There was one that I thought was kind of cool, which was like a 6. The case was like a chamber for like a 6-shot pistol or revolver, and the dice were in bullet shape. So I mean that's kind of like that'd be kind of cool for me. But they have even just like discs with different levels of spinning parts, and each one represented a different die, so you would stop it or move it. Do you need that level of?
Of course not.
No, it's novelty. It's just for fun, showpieces.
Yeah, maybe too. It's kind of part of the culture because I mean I'm sure you're the same as I. You have your die that you're the only one that uses it because it's the lucky one that rolls high.
In my house, I have the dies that are just in the bag. My wife has her sets of dice because she actually plays. My kid has his sets of dice.
Of course.
And then I have my personal set of dice. And then I have dice that I have put away so nobody touches.
Yeah, and I have my DM's dice and my player dice, which are different. They're separate because
You got those special player killer die?
yeah, of course. It depends on what I need. If I need to kill them, I use certain dice. But yeah, it's kind of very cultural. It's a very interesting symbol of our culture. But
Oh, wait, here. They're throwing out an audible for us. There's something that is die adjacent. What is that, producer? Oh, look. It is. Here, you stretch out, man. Come on. This is a very, very interesting. Here, let me get this up here. What is this?
this is a dice tower, man.
Yes, and what is the point of a dice tower?
Well, to not fudge your rolls with your trick hands and so forth.
I mean, yeah, you put the dice at the top, it bangs around a bit, and it comes
And
random
rolls.
out.
And because if you're particularly cheaty as myself, if you rolled 20 on the top and you kind of toss it like so, oh my God, it rolled high.
Oh, wow. Or you kind of like figure out if I hold it like this and just kind of drop it,
6. There we go.
you can get the high number. So this kind of randomizes everything. I mean, particularly, I don't use them.
Yeah, because part of the point of this hobby is feeling the power in your fist
I just think it takes up a lot of space.
also. And it covers vision
Yeah. I'm more
trace.
a dice tray, just something where you could just toss it and contain it, unless you really go barbaric and just throw it everywhere and knock it out.
Toss your minis.
Is it worth it? Are these worth it? Would you buy a dice tray? I mean, I've bought dice trays. I don't know if I'd buy a tower.
Probably a more compact model, but no, not really. Only if cheating is a factor, I'd probably go for it. But I mean, it's an honor system game.
I've actually seen some really cool like table builds where they have the dice tower actually built into the table.
Oh, that's cool. Sort of like a mahjong table that they mix the.
Yeah, it's like a pressure system where you push down and then the dice tower will pop out and then you can use that and just hide it. Which again, if you have the money for it, dude, go for it. Invite me over to play. I'd love it. But personally, I'd
rather forego the dice tower. Even for some other regular board games, a lot of friends suggest using them due to the cheating factor. But even so, we prefer not to. They're kind of cumbersome most of the time.
Yeah.
As for novelty die, well, they're novelty, so you won't need them. And basically, you just really, really need your basic set of die.
Yeah. And even if you don't have dice or if space is a really big issue, and you are playing in person, all this we're taking into consideration that you are playing in person and not on a
Online.
virtual tabletop or something. You could just use your phone or use a tablet between everybody or have something.
There are a lot of apps that randomize things like
Do
this.
I like that better? No.
No, of course not. The feeling of throwing a ton of dice is amazing. like launching your fireball, throwing 10 die, and
I haven't asked everybody to lend you. Here, can I borrow some die 6? Can I borrow some die 6? Oh.
of course, and seeing the math professor friend take out his calculator to add things.
If you are the player that looks over and doesn't even give the other player a chance to add up their dice, I don't like you. Give them a chance. If they're a little bit slow,
Yeah, of course.
then help them out. But give the person a chance to look at the dice.
I don't know, man. If the whole table has seen your die, and they're telling you it's 72, dude. No, have to add it up.
No. And I understand that. But there's some people that go above and beyond. You just toss the dice and they're already, it's 12. Like, dude, relax. Let me enjoy the game.
Let me enjoy the flow of this nice.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if the whole table already knows the result, I don't know. And one thing that you have to be aware, there are another sort of dice that you could get confused with. This is a life counter from D&D. It's from D&D, from Magic the Gathering. It's got the numbers are consecutive. They're not randomized. So this will give you different results.
This is going to open a whole debate if it can even be unrandomized, or if it's more about the balance of the die and the way it's made than where the numbers are, because it's 20 faces. Is there really that big of a probability difference?
Slight weight difference, because it has more less material on the bottom than the top. It's got some factors. But yeah, it's a big debate. I mean, if you want to join us on that, go ahead. Eugene dismisses my point. I disagree. I think you should not use life counters. But that's it.
Don't play Magic.
I mean, if you want to have money at the end of the month, yeah, you shouldn't play Magic.
All right. Is there anything else? I think that's what we have for today. Are there any other different gadgets that we can maybe coerce the producers to get for us to review and look at?
Something you think would be interesting?
Some flashy LED light dice?
A screen.
Oh, we have screens around here.
No, but
actually, you know what? I was noticing I don't really like using screens.
LD, like Dungeon Master screens or a screen?
A DM screen. Oh, you're talking about like the TV, like a projector screen kind of thing? Oh. Did we get one installed here?
Maybe, or at least a free TV. No, but why? Yeah, what's interesting? Because
the same thing with this, it blocks. I feel like it blocks the view. So now I have to stand up, and then I'm standing up during the game, and I'm like, why am I standing up? I can just sit down and chill.
Yeah, I get you.
I don't know how the old school DMs used to have the whole
those
partition.
Immense. Yeah, because eye contact is important. But at the end of the day, you're kind of a little bit of a theater kid. Some people prefer perhaps that the DM does not look, is not seen.
Don't look at me.
But for those cases, from some other board games, I've seen like some screens that are this high. They're like 10 centimeters high. How much would it be? 4 inches high. And those are perfect for privacy. And they don't block the view at all.
Oh, so I end up using, remember CDs? Music used to come on CDs.
Oh my
I
God!
have like those old cardboard cases that open up in 4.
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah.
So I just use that.
Yeah,
and
those
I have
are
my notes and everything.
Those are about 5 inches tall. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, something that size is perfect.
That could be actually something that could be marketable. We need to look into designing and offering mini screens. For
mini
DMs.
Screen. Yeah, you could have several depending on the sort of encounter, like a social one and a.
And if you want to get fancy, you could put a digital screen on the inside and then program it, and then you can have whatever information you want on the inside.
Or just that your phone fits in the...
Or just put your phone.
All right.
Thank you.
So, that's the end of the video. If you haven't already, please drop a like and subscribe to the channel. And please, feel free to leave us your comments, suggestions, and questions below.
Also follow us on our other social media like Instagram, TikTok, and join us on our Discord channel over at the ND Hobby server. Links in the description.
And as always, remember to
rage
responsibly. We'll see you in the next episode.
Just toss a pretzel in here?
Doesn't work. It's not random.
Oh.